On a bright summer morning, a wealthy businessman named Mr. Anderson stood by his office window, sipping his coffee and gazing over his vast estate. The garden shimmered with morning dew, birds chirped, and the scent of roses filled the air. It was a peaceful view, until something strange caught his eye. Out on the perfectly mowed lawn, 3 little girls were crouched on the grass, their tiny hands clutching green blades, and they were eating them. Startled, he squinted to make sure he wasn't imagining things. But no, it was real. 3 identical little girls, maybe 5 or 6 years old, sat in a row, munching on the grass like starving lambs. Confused and worried, Mr. Anderson stormed outside. His polished shoes clicked on the marble steps as he called out, "Hey! What are you doing?" The triplets froze, eyes wide, their little mouths full of grass. They looked terrified. The eldest of the 3 quickly stood up and said softly, "We're sorry, sir, we were just hungry." Mr. Anderson blinked. "Hungry? Where's your mother?" he asked, his tone softening. The smallest one lowered her eyes. "Mama's cleaning inside the big house. She told us to stay outside because we're not allowed to touch anything." It hit him, these must be the children of Maria, the new maid who had just started working for him a week ago. He had hired her through an agency, not knowing much about her except that she was quiet, humble, and always early to work. Now, seeing her daughters eating grass, something inside him stirred, a deep pang of guilt and realization. He knelt down beside them. "Why didn't you tell your mother you were hungry?" The middle girl whispered, "She doesn't eat until she finishes her work, and there's no food at home. We didn't want to make her sad." Those words pierced his heart like a knife. Here he was, a millionaire surrounded by luxury, complaining about small inconveniences, while these innocent children were starving silently on his lawn. Without another thought, he picked them up one by one, saying, "Come with me." Inside the mansion, the girls stared in awe. They had never seen chandeliers so bright, rooms so grand, or a dining table so long. Mr. Anderson called his chef immediately. "Prepare something delicious for them, now." Within minutes, plates of warm pancakes, fruits, and milk were placed before the triplets. As they ate with wide smiles and tears in their eyes, Maria walked in, holding a mop. The moment she saw her children at the dining table, she froze, her face pale. "Sir, I'm so sorry," she cried, rushing forward. "Please don't fire me, they were just hungry." "I didn't mean." Mr. Anderson raised a hand gently. "Maria, sit down." She hesitated, but obeyed. He looked at her with kind eyes. "Why didn't you tell me about your situation?" Her voice trembled as she spoke. "Because people like you don't care about people like us." "I didn't want pity, sir. I just needed this job so I could buy food for my daughters." The room fell silent. Mr. Anderson felt something change inside him that moment. "You're wrong," he said softly. "I do care. And I should have known." From that day, everything changed. Mr. Anderson arranged for the triplets to attend a nearby school, paid for their uniforms, and even made sure Maria had a proper home to live in. He promoted her from maid to house manager, trusting her with responsibilities no one else had ever earned. Months later, during a charity event he hosted, Mr. Anderson shared their story publicly. "The day I saw 3 little girls eating grass in my yard," he told the audience, "I realized that wealth means nothing if you can't use it to feed someone who's hungry." The guests were moved to tears. Many of them later donated to the fund he created for working mothers, inspired by Maria's courage and the triplets' innocence. Years passed, and the triplets grew into bright young women, each of them successful in their own right. On the day they graduated college, they stood beside Mr. Anderson, their greatest supporter. "If it weren't for you," the eldest said, "we'd still be eating grass." He smiled warmly. "No," he replied, "you'd have made it anyway. You just needed someone to see you." The story of the millionaire and the triplets became a legend in their town, a reminder that kindness costs nothing, but can change everything. To like, share, and subscribe for more.